In our first story, the Ghana Police Service is assuring members of the public every effort is being made to maintain law and order in the country without any fear or favor, with a promise that all persons involved in the wave of attacks experienced in the country will be brought to book. Speaking at a news conference in Accra Friday afternoon, Head of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Cephas Arthur, named some persons who have been arrested in connection with the attacks since the inauguration of President Akufo-Addo.
Now, the following are the arrests made in respect of post-inauguration incidents. So while we have some of the perpetrators, or I call them criminals, fleeing arrests because they sense the arrival of the police, after they have absconded, we have been able to conduct painstaking investigation and been able to bring some of them to book. Number one, seizure of Tiomodom toll booth. Police have arrested Kennedy Amo, 45 years. I take that again. Seizure of Tiomodom toll booth. Police have arrested Kennedy Amo, 45 years, and Nana Yao, 36 years. And they have been charged. In fact, they were taken to court today, but the court was not sitting, so the case has been adjourned, or they are reappearing in court on Tuesday, 17th January 2017. Attack on some NDC supporters who were organizing a function. Police have arrested Cosmos MP, 33 years, Joseph Yeboah, 35 years, who are being processed for court. The arrest was made only today. Meanwhile, efforts are underway to trace their accomplices. And the accomplices are Kwabena Jenfi, Payao, Kwame Apia, Gabi, and Gordon Tete.
Now, on what the police is doing to clamp down on perpetrators of violence and also protect lives and property, Superintendent Arthur says the police will, amongst other measures, deploy more personnel to protect some key state institutions and vital installations.
The police has presently deployed personnel once again to vital state installations and some state institutions which are targets of these attacks, and invasions, to protect them. Furthermore, the service has intensified its patrol and intelligence to ensure maximum security for all lives and properties. Moreover, the action units are also standing by to respond to any emergency situation to prevent or stop any act of criminality. Ladies and gentlemen, the police administration wishes to assure all members of the public that every effort is being made to maintain law and order in the country.
Now, let's still stay a while longer on this issue because the police in Nigeria Dumase are yet to make any arrests following clashes between NDC and MPP supporters on Thursday, which left 13 people injured. According to the police, although it has names of some suspects, they are still gathering intelligence on the actual culprits. The school feeding program, over which the two parties are squabbling, has meanwhile been suspended in the district. Correspondent Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin joins me with the very latest on this. Mahmoud, good evening to you. You've been speaking to the district police commander. Has he told you why they are yet to make any arrests?
Yes, he said that they have gotten a list of 14 people and they are still searching for them. And they would make sure that when they get in touch with them, they will arrest them and caution them on why they attacked these schools. And he also told me that the 13 people who were injured yesterday were discharged from the hospital doing well now.
And can you confirm that indeed the school feeding program which led to the clash, the issues that led to the clash, the program has been suspended in that particular district?
Hello?
Mahmoud, I was asking if you can confirm whether indeed the school feeding program in that particular district has been suspended.
It is true that it has been suspended. I mean, the police are saying that they have received some complaints and some directives, and so the school feeding program has been suspended for now. And so they are going to do their investigation. And he has not been able to tell me when they will resume this program, but as and when they are able to put things in order, they will let us know exactly when the school feeding program would begin. But I can say that calm has been returned to the municipality, and people are actually going around with their own, businesses.
All right, many thanks, Mohammed Nuruddin, there bringing us that update from Ejura Sitre Dumasi. Now, a vehicle belonging to the National Health Insurance Scheme in the East Achim municipality of the Eastern region has been stolen by unidentified persons. The Toyota Hilux pickup vehicle is said to have disappeared in the early hours of January 4 this year at the Health Insurance District Office in East Achim Municipal Capital, Chebi. Although the vehicle's number plate and canopy for the bucket was later found in the bush in a nearby community, the vehicle cannot be traced. Some assembly members in the East Achim municipality, however, suspect managers of the scheme are behind the disappearance of the vehicle and are threatening to hand over to the police the entire management if the vehicle is not found by Monday. Assembly member for Chebi Ahenbromu, Kwame Asiedu Bekoin, speaks for his colleagues.
Na ni nyina mu no na mi se na president ba be ba chibi ni ntino na ye hu kwa be fa so a am se e ba ko bisam na go mo the president ba ya okọ ya pe ani ensu itu anamom ekọ ye so manager ho ene management ko shia assembly member no.
Officials of the NHIS did not deny the fact that the car was nowhere to be found. But what we are trying so hard to understand right now is how the car disappeared from the compound when there were security men on duty. They even showed us the car keys. So how can a car disappear without its keys?
And the assembly members and I come out you could see and say yes manager and
I just don't understand this. This vehicle is no one's personal property. It belongs to government. The vehicle is with officials of the NHIS, and they must quit playing games and return it, or we'll have no option than to have them arrested.
Police. Yeah, and the other members are traffic. Emma say, as you meet the end, that's why I buy up at the end of the year.
Well, the Eastern Regional Director of the National Health Insurance Authority, Alhaji Seidu Abudu Samson, tells our correspondent Maxwell Kuroko the police is investigating the incident.
At the early hours of 4th January, I received a call from my district manager of East Achim district, informing me about a stolen official vehicle, and straight away I had to advise him to get the matter reported to the police at Chebi, which he did. I think the police made some good efforts by trying to trace, and somewhere along the line they discovered the canopy of the vehicle, the number plate, and the NHIS stickers that were attached to the vehicle, by the roadside. I believe the culprits, would have done that, and then they escaped with the vehicle. Now, my next line of action was to ask the district manager to give me a comprehensive report on the incidents, which he has since done. I have also, as his supervisor, forwarded the details of the report to the head office for further attention. And so as of now, we are only waiting on the police to come out with maybe any other details with regards to the recovery of the vehicle.
Do you suspect any foul play, looking at the circumstances?
At this stage, I cannot determine whether there was some foul play or not. I mean, stealing vehicles is not new in our society. And so I sincerely think that these are, people who would have actually, watched out to see that it was convenient for them at that time to pick the car away.
Is it the first time you have lost a vehicle? Your vehicle?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is the first time we are witnessing such an incident as far as our vehicles are concerned.
Beyond what the police is doing, do you have any other plan to mount a search on you?
We have also informed all our other district staff to be vigilant because these vehicles are unique, and I believe that no matter what alterations, any of our staff that comes across it.
Well, we've been speaking to the Chepi Divisional Commander, and he's confirmed that a report has been lodged with the police on this particular matter. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Stephen Opuni, has been sacked from office. The former head of the Food and Drugs Authority was served with a dismissal letter Friday morning, signed by Executive Secretary to the President, Nana Bedietuo Asante. The letter directs the Cocoa Board CEO to leave office as head of Cocoa Board by 5 p.m. Friday, January 13, 2017. I have a copy of the letter which reads, well, pursuant to the Section 14.1 of the Presidential Transition Act 2012, Act 845, and paragraph 6 of Schedule thereto, you cease to hold office as Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board upon the assumption of office of His Excellency, the President of the Republic. You are directed to hand over your office to His Excellency, the President's representative at the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efriyakoto, and proceed to collect any terminal benefits or facilities due you under relevant law. In view of the urgency attached to this matter, please ensure that you hand over and cease to act as Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board not later than 5 p.m. on January 13, 2017. I count on your cooperation, and it's signed by Nana Bedietuo Asante, who is Executive Secretary to the President. Well, Joint News' Latif Idris visited the head office of Cocoa Board earlier Friday and reports that the former chief executive was summoned into a meeting with the transition team of the governing New Patriotic Party.
It's a Friday when people are getting ready for the weekend. One will say this isn't the best of days to get the sack, but that's exactly what has happened to the chief executive of Cocoa Board, Dr. Stephen Opuni, who in about 3-4 hours ago received the sack from President Akufo-Addo. The situation doesn't seem to change for the workers here at Cocoa Board. Information I've gathered is that Dr. Stephen Opuni, as we speak, is in a crunch meeting with a unit of the transition team, but we do not know exactly the location where this meeting is being held. But information I've gathered from people of this company is that this meeting is expected to get Dr. Stephen Opuni to account for his stewardship. We know Dr. Stephen Opuni has been in office since 2013. His leadership at Cocoa Board has been very bumpy, if you like. We remember somewhere last year, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union staged a demonstration against his leadership at Cocoa Board. That situation didn't get him to, vacate the post. He stayed put until today that the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has issued a statement or a directive for him to vacate office by end of today. So today marks the final day of work for Dr. Stephen Opuni at Cocoa Board. But the situation here at the headquarters of Cocoa Board, if you come here, I must say, hasn't changed much. Workers here are tight-lipped. They wouldn't say anything. I've engaged a couple of them. They will give you information off the record. But if you want them to speak on record as far as the sack of the current chief executive is concerned, how it's affecting the morale of workers here, nobody And I mean, nobody here is willing to give us information. They think that come Monday, they'll be in a better position to give their opinion on the development.
So that was my colleague Latif Idris there, and there have been reactions to this action from the presidency, one of them coming from retired Ghanaian diplomat Dr. KB Asante, who has described the action as, or the tone of the letter rather, as impolite and un-Ghanaian. According to him, the Akufo-Addo-led government could have sacked Dr. Oponi in a nicer way. He indicated that a person who has spent years in the office should not be booted out like an ordinary person. As it stands now, Dr. Asante said the manner in which Dr. Oponi is being relieved of his post will court hatred for the government. We're taking a short break here. You're still watching Joy News Prime. And still ahead, President Akufo-Addo promises to deliver on his promises despite the challenges facing the economy. Details when we return. You're welcome back. Now, President Akufo-Addo says his government will deliver on promises made to Ghanaians despite the challenges facing the economy. Addressing the Global Ministers and Wives Conference of the Church of Pentecost, the president called for prayers and support for his government.
The conference, attended by over 5,000 delegates from 90 countries across the world, aims at deepening the relationship between the church and God. Members will use the two-day conference to review targets set in the previous year and strategize to confront emerging challenges facing the church. In brief remarks to formally open the conference, President Akufo-Addo charged the congregants to lead a godly life that reflects in their activities outside the church. He indicated his government's commitment to address concerns of Ghanaians.
We are a religious people. The Ghanaian people are a religious people. And religion doesn't mean just prayer and worship. It is also how you behave and act in your everyday life as a citizen. What we have to do is to make sure that the beliefs that we have impact on us in our everyday life. If we do that, I know that our country and our society and our nations will all be in a better place than where they are now.
In a related development, President Akufo-Addo has indicated his willingness to implement a number of memorandum of understanding reached between his predecessor, John Mahama, and the Mauritius government last year. Welcoming the Mauritius president to the Flagstaff House, President Akufo-Addo says improving and making education accessible remains a top priority for his government.
We have no doubt that at the center of Africa's attempts to modernize and develop is education. It's a centerpiece of our thinking, even in the very political documents that have been put out, our manifesto and the rest. Education, and the education, especially science, technology, and innovation, are the very center of our vision of what can happen to Ghana. So what you're doing is something that is important, that finds great resonance with us, and I have no doubt that is why President Kufuor is an integral part of this initiative.
The Mauritius president, Amina Group Fakim, is in Ghana as guest of the Zongo Fellowship, which seeks to support indigenous African companies to acquire the needed capacity to successfully launch cross-border operations on the continent. President Amina Group Fakim says access to capital remains a challenge to most African startup businesses. She says her country is ready to partner Ghana in areas of mutual benefits.
We are here in a very important initiative today to launch the Zongo Fellowship. And this, I think, is going to be one of the catalysts that we'll need to really kickstart and empower the youth of our continent through building their talent, through building their potential, and empower them with the necessary tools and the means that we have so that we truly put value to the main resource that this continent has. And I keep saying.
Earlier, The Mauritius president was met on arrival at the Kotoka International Airport by Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Both leaders pledged to create an environment that ensures financial independence of the youth.
We have developed in Mauritius with what Ghana has done in terms of the history. I think we can both exchange experiences and see how we can further both our agendas.
And we have a lot to learn from each other. The financial sector, for example, is a major area where Mauritius has done a lot and where Ghana can also learn from. So I look forward to closer ties, deeper relations, more of an exchange of ideas and cooperation in many different sectors between Mauritius and Ghana.
Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo is in Mali to attend the 27th France-Africa Summit taking place in Bamako. This is his first foreign trip since he was sworn in as president on January 7. The summit, which is aimed at enhancing the integration process, collective action and cooperation for the common good of participating countries and their people, will bring together heads of state and governments from some 30 countries. A letter signed by Acting Director of Communications at the Presidency, Eugene Ahin, says he was accompanied by the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and will return home on Saturday. Now, governance think tank Institute for Democratic Governance is proposing a review of the transition law to allow the establishment of an independent body to oversee the settlement and of end-of-service benefits for Article 71 office holders. The proposal stems from the raging controversy over accommodation for ex-President John Mahama. Matilda Wemega reports.
It's been less than a week since John Mahama left office after a peaceful handing over to President Akufo-Addo, who won the 2016 presidential election. But arrangements to settle his end-of-service entitlements have not been as smooth as the transition. A letter from the former president requesting to keep his official residence as part of his entitlement was leaked, prompting media arguments among representatives of the former president and the new one, and also generated a public disaffection for Mr. Mahama. The ex-president was forced to make a U-turn on the request, a sign of bad blood between the two leaders. Executive Director at IDEC, Dr. Emmanuel Lakwete, describes the development as disrespectful and shabby. He believes the lack of proper planning and disrespect for the transition laws has resulted in this situation.
We get into situations where the president is treated shabbily, I think disrespectfully. It doesn't reflect good on us. It's like we don't take good care of our leaders. I think it's a very unprofessional approach we've taken. And it doesn't do good to the image of the country. We think we're embarrassing the immediate past. No, we're embarrassing our whole self. It reflects how we deal with that, we treat our leaders, and how we make policies and implement them, and how we enforce the law. There is no respect, there's no enforcement, and so on. So there are a number of things that I think we should streamline, but let's deal with these matters with dignity, with professionalism, with some respect. Why is it a matter that is all over?
He called on the Akufo-Addo-led administration to speed up process and giving all past presidents what is due them.
Okay, now he says, okay, he's corrected the wrong we perceived him to be committing by deciding to stay in there. Where is the right that must be done him? Then we say, oh, join the queue. Yeah. Because we didn't do it for President Kufuor, we didn't do it for the late president, the vice president, the late vice president. Aliu Mahama. We didn't do it for Aliu Mahama. So wait, be in the queue. I mean, is it a political vendetta, which comes across as such? Settle him, he can stay there temporary, and then let him then say, okay, we are going to solve this problem. But do you need to do it, in a queue? So, the whole thing of let's humiliate leaders a little, we should break from the past. And I think President Nana Akufo-Addo has set the tone.
We're taking another break, but you don't want to go away because the Central Regional Police Administration has arrested a man who has been collating nude pictures of women. That's coming up after the break. Now, welcome back. One of the new ministries to be established under the Akufo-Addo administration is the Ministry for Inner City and Zongo Development, which has as one of its core mandates upgrading the Zongos. It's expected to help President Akufo-Addo fulfill a campaign promise, which includes the setup of a Zongo Development Fund. Joy News' Joseph Akable has been spending some time in one such community to find out what they make of this announcement and the likely impact on development in the area, and reports. While some of the residents are not so impressed by the move, others foresee some significant challenges already.
So why can't this place also be like East Legon? You live at East Legon. East Legon is not how it was formerly when it was being created. You understand? We also feel people here should also live the same life like East Legon.
64-year-old Hamza is a pharmacy technician who has no memory of residing anywhere apart from Nima, a Zongo community. This is his vision for the neighborhood. Hamza monitors the news closely and tells me he had his eyes fixed on his TV set when this announcement of a Zongo ministry was made.
One of the critical areas of concern for the social cohesion and harmony of our country is the developments that are taking place in our inner cities and in our Zongos. It was to meet the challenge of social development in Zongos that we committed ourselves to establishing a Zongo Development Fund, and also committed ourselves to making a special effort to develop our inner cities.
Hamza, however, disagrees with the approach the president is using to make his vision a reality.
It is unworkable. The local government minister should be in charge of all those things. So if you have a fund, channel it through the local government ministry, because we have the sub-metros. They are in charge of developing the areas. So if you say you are creating another ministry of inner ministry, or what do you call it, it's unworkable.
Hamza's friend Ismail has a different view. He was glad when he heard the news.
I think it's a good initiative for the new government to set up that initiative, because he campaigned on it, and most of the Zongo people, I think if you look at the voting trend, I would say now the Zongo has voted for NPP a lot because of what the government has campaigned on. So if he set up that ministries, I think it will be benefit for the Zongos, and if only they will do what the tailors are going to do.
I'm very, very happy because we don't have any Zongo minister before, but this is the first time we have a Zongo minister. So we are very, very happy and thanking God for helping us, we the Zongos, to get a minister.
I'm excited about it because he's a Zongo man, and you know the situation we are facing. You know it. So far that they choose him, they have to come and work and prove that he's a true Zongo man.
He, however, believes the move by the president will face some challenges, key among them being how difficult it will be to get residents to buy into the vision. He also has a clear understanding of what the problems are, just like Hamza. The siren of a waste collection van can be heard in the background. The two agree sanitation is a key issue that must be addressed.
It's about the sanitation. If you look around, there are no dustbin for us to dump our rubbishes. So that's the most mess in the community.
In Zongo community, we need something like education and sanitation. That's all.
The other residents simply hope the president succeeds.
We expect the new government to ensure that all goes well. God should help him hold on to power so that all will go well.
My issue is to see Zongo develop. That's the only issue I want to see.
For now, the vetting of the minister designate is what many will be looking forward to. But it is clear he will have a lot on his hands, as he'll be aiming to turn around the state of these communities. For Joy News, Joseph Akable, Nima.
Now, Now, the Central Regional Police Administration has arrested a 37-year-old man, Emmanuel Orlando Matrevi, for collating nude pictures of women and threatening to publish them. Now, according to the Central Regional Crime Officer, Bafor Apenteng, the 37-year-old blackmails the women, threatens to publish their pictures on the internet if they fail to allow him have sex with them. Luck, however, eluded him when some of his victims reported his activities to the police, resulting in his arrest. Bafor Apenteng is the Central Regional Police Crime Officer.
Modus operandi is to lure girls, and when he gets you through other Facebook or the WhatsApp, pretend that he's interacting with you from the overseas. Then he will lure you to send, the girl will send him nude pictures. As soon as he gets the nude pictures, then he will then face up, okay, I'm so, now I have your nude pictures. If you don't allow me to do this, I'll go bara. And that's what he's been doing. For now, we have 2 girls that he has done, he has applied his trade on them. And then the girls also, the first girl, through this blackmail, was able to have uncountable number of sex with the girl. The second lady, that one, he threatened that if the girl doesn't allow, he also go bara. So they came and made a report. We've arrested him. We have a slap iPad where the nude pictures of the girls are all kept there. So we are just praying that maybe he had not sent it as he intended, but he said he hasn't sent it anyway. Now they are all here. So we intend to send him to court because from his demeanor, that is his stock in trade. He lure girls, get pictures, so that is why we have arrested him.
Now, the immediate past Deputy Fisheries Minister, Benita Sena Okitijia, says poor attitude of fishermen towards protecting the sea was the biggest challenge to developing the sector during her tenure. Mrs. Okitijia says most fishermen engage in illegal practices when fishing to get more, while repeated cautions to them to desist went unheeded. Speaking to Joy News on the legacy of the NDC government in the sector, she noted a lot was achieved.
We've done quite a lot in this sector. We've introduced the insurance plan where fishermen can be insured, and we've also commissioned the Elmina fish processing plant, whereby fish wouldn't go waste. We'd have fish processed into fish feed. You know, the government, as always, the government has done a lot for the fishermen in regards to the outboard motors, that subsidizing outboard motors for them to make their living a bit comfortable for them.
There were initial fears with the production of oil that it may end up affecting the fishing industry because, you know, boats will not be able to get close to the rigs, the sea may be polluted and all of that. How have you managed that, and has any negative impact been felt? With oil exploration, you can't have it all. You know, you can also say that because fishermen are fishing in the sea, there shouldn't be any exploration where the need be. We're working together. We work together with the oil industry, and I think everything has been amicably resolved. Yes, they were complaining fishermen come too close to the rig, and it was causing problems for them, you know, because it was dangerous. And the fishermen too were saying that they see the fishes are all running that side, you know. So we just need to have a conducive environment for everybody to be able to fish and fish well. But most of the time, the problem we were having is the attitude of our fishermen, in the sense that they go against the rules by using wrong materials to fish. So our fishing resources or the fish stock is depleted, you know, and that also affects their business, you know. So we always encourage them to stay by the rules, because if you stay by those rules,
the fingerlings will grow. There'll be no need to go close to the rake. You know, wherever you get to, you can at least have fish.
We're taking another break. International news is up next. Now, people say when life offers you lemons, make lemonade out of them. That was exactly what a 19-year-old poetess at Jamestown here in Accra, Sabuki Osabute, did when she missed the ultimate prize in a debating competition years ago. Her interest to engage in any public speaking activity waned completely, but she staged a huge comeback and is currently one of Ghana's youngest female poets. Joy News' Maxwell Agbapa spent some time with her and has come through with this report.
She's not your usual 19-year-old. Though still in her teens, her achievements perhaps are those of a 30-year-old. In this poem, Jamestown Girl, Sabuki Osabute talks about life growing on the streets of the predominantly Ghan fishing community.
From Lighthouse to Asher Fort, we roamed the streets with a single panty mammy boat. We never cared to make this a thought. All we wanted was the kenke in the pot. We sought nothing but a free will. We shrill. The strokes of the cane still leaves our hearts as stubborn as Pandora. Stealing Adukwe's tapioca, we weren't given names like Monica. I grew up knowing Atayi, Oko, Akwele, and Lobisa. Oh, fun it was being a Jamestown girl. Banku Keshitolo, the daily meal we fed. Akbanga Hefueke Jenye Walong. The awful smell of a vulture is from its mother's egg. Proverbs we heard and said, as young as we were, we put ideas into play and enjoyed ourselves throughout the day. Today, modernization has filled our calabashes with sophisticated ideas, making our infants voice out fried rice and chicken. Where, at them times, Darby's kuli will be burning the pockets of our school shirts early Monday morning. Oh, fun it was being a Jamestown girl. I've had my umbilical cord buried deep in the source of Accra. Hey, Ganyobi, but I'm not here to fight. I'm here to speak the unspoken truth, told from Abola to Manchadbona. Keje, Nikushi no, Wano, Wagbejeke Wajashon, who may be a call your Chadani warrior. We only speak when the wind blows. So why should we hide this beautiful culture we need to show? Emancipate yourself from Western culture addiction, no classifying African culture as a sham. I'm proud to be your Kaklayo, and I'll make you a perfect shitolo.
Sabuki is uncomfortable with the hustle and bustle of city life, but loves conditions in old British Accra. When life hurled stones at Sabuki, she dodged them, collected them, and used them to build a huge wall. She now stands on that wall to speak her mind to the world. That happened back in senior high school when she missed out on a debate and public speaking competition. She lost appetite for public speaking. There was no motivation to continue. She would rather channel that energy into poetry. Here, she sits in front of me in a purple headgear to match her multicolored sleeveless dashiki dress. Her red earrings will not stop dangling even as she sits still in a black chair listening to my questions with rapt attention. For 19-year-old Sabuki Osabute, poetry is not just the spontaneous flow of words. It is the potent tool that can be used to speak against the many ills and injustice of our world. In this poem, she calls My Black Man Is Not a Zombie. She talks about slavery.
The African mesomorph. His muscles large, shoulders wide, well built from side to side, his six-pack so strong and can be seen across his stomach. My black man, my African black man. The strength he possesses cannot be compared to an eagle, a homo sapien who is not feeble. But it's so unfortunate why Mr. White is fighting him with all his might. He was sold to a man of his kind just because the man was low, and he stooped so low because he had nothing to show. Oh no, way back in the 18th century, during the discovery of the New World, when they needed people to work on their so-called plantations, they chose my black man, my African black man. He was given little food, little shelter, little sleep. He was sick and tired of those unscrupulous, lazy men who left him to die and to be at the mercy of wild animals. He was captivated with chains and shackles. He sat in a 3 feet 3 inches dungeon, his body tattooed with a hot branded iron. You tore, you bore, and drilled his flesh. He was a zombie. My black man was a zombie. Now we're in the 21st century. My black man is no more a zombie. To hell with you, Mr. Rooney. Because all you do is to turn east and west in your swivel chair, ordering him here and there. You so not fair. The shocking part of it all is when you mention his name wrongly. He is Kofi, but you call him Kofi. Your father changed Kunta Kinte's name to Toby. Mr. Rooney, my black man, my African black man, it's not a zombie. My favorite color is black, not because I'm black, but my soul cries, my soul sings a sorrowful song because of what my black man went through and what he's going through. I'm not here to earthquake memories, but my black man was denied to cross some territories. He was denied a cup of water. Yes, a cup of water just because he's black. Whenever he opens his mouth to speak, you shut him up with civilization. You know what? Civilization, my nose, I am getting bored. But the echoes of Madiba, Martin Luther King Jr. keeps me holding on. But I'll continue to travel the truth. My black man, my African black man, it's not a zombie.
As a teenager, one would expect her to talk about the regular things young people talk about: fame, relationships, and money. But no, the major theme that runs through her poems are slavery, feminism, and women empowerment.
They say I'm loud. Yes, I know I scream. Yes, I know I'm loud. Now, I scream not because the vein on my brain is fractured. Not because I have a submarine of words on my thick tongue to share with my listeners. I scream because there's a lot of hurt in here guarded. Ice, cake, tough. Not even the biggest submarine in the world can have it worded. I scream because my heart is full of heartbreaking comments and critiques I don't even have time to mention. I scream because I don't have the right to sit when I want to stand and spit out what rightly belongs to the Ekwe Gremi seller at the Malata market. You know, you cannot rob me of my confidence and clothe me with shyness. Your Royal Highness, I plead with your indulgence. I call myself a protest poet because most of my poems are, you know, protest writing, more of like advocating for Pan-Africanism and, you know, throwing back to history, slavery, and all of that, and a little bit of feminism. So, I mean, themes that I really work around with, and I just enjoy writing things like that, yeah.
Sabuki does not only have great interest for poetry, she runs an NGO, the Sabuki Osabute Foundation. The foundation provides support for children with learning disabilities. She leverages on her poetry connection with corporate organizations to organize parties for the kids. She has also performed on some big stages, including TEDx and Chaliwati. When Sabuki Osabute missed out on that debate competition, she was too young to know that for every thick cloud, there is a silver lining. But now, she has found poetry to be the silver lining in her thick cloud. Reporting for Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
I'll talk about lyrical dexterity. Interesting there. Let's talk about the Multimedia Group, because management and staff of the Kumasi branch of the Multimedia Group Limited could not hide their joy as they gave thanks to God at a special Thanksgiving service. The foundations of Miracle Manor Church at Eyija trembled as members and staff of the MGL Group showered praises and thanksgiving in loud voices to God for his protection, good health, and blessings. Here are excerpts. Well, here in Accra, sister stations such as Joy FM, Asempa FM, Adom FM, and Multi TV, we've also been giving thanks to God. Jennifer Ikwama has more.
After a grueling and hectic election period where several high-powered members of the Multimedia group were attacked by armed robbers, there was a definite sense of gratitude to the Almighty as management and staff of Multimedia Ghana Limited sang, danced and prayed their hearts out at the company's annual Thanksgiving service at Victory Bible Church. A word of encouragement from presiding Bishop James Sarr inspired each member who was present.
Right hand. After 430 years in captivity in Egypt, when they were living in Deuteronomy chapter 8, Moses gave an address, and 2 words are used in Deuteronomy 8. Remember, don't forget. Remember, don't forget. And it is stated 8 times in the address of their departure into the promised land. Why would God do a new thing for you when you didn't thank him for what he did yesterday? Even husbands don't do that. Your husband brings you a gift, you wrestle it out of his hand. A sense of entitlement. Am I not your wife? If you bought it, so what? Oh, no. And that's the way we do with God. And so he said, remember, don't forget. Lift up your right hand. We are done. The benefit of remembrance. Father, we thank you. Even as we get into prayer, acknowledge our gathering. Not everybody is here. Not every company does what Multimedia is doing. We are not reckless or careless about what you've done for us. Haven't companies started and collapsed? Bigger, well-endued and well-endowed companies fizzled out. And they used to be in the top brackets. But we are here to acknowledge unashamedly that it is possible only by your grace. And we say with Paul, we are what we are by the grace of God.
But as they say, the show must go on. After a power-packed 2-hour session, management and staff dispersed to their respective offices, refreshed and energized to perform their duties to the glory of God.
A 1, a 2, a 3, we go. Oh, Jesus, 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 oh.
And we do thank God for bringing us thus far. We're taking a break. We'll be back with entertainment.